everybody. I hope that you're having a great start to your 2017. I wanted to check in with you and see how you're doing with those New Year's resolutions. A lot of us started those goals, and if you've already failed at your goals, you are not alone. That may not be the good news. A lot of people don't do well within the couple of weeks, sometimes 6 weeks is tending to be the time at which most people totally give up on their goals. So if you're in that category of people that are struggling to stay on those goals already, don't feel too bad. You're not alone, but you don't have to stay there because your failures, which I don't even like to use that particular F word, but your failures don't necessarily need to mean a complete end to making those goals. Sometimes you can take those failures, just like we talked about taking fears and regrets, and use those as a springboard towards success. They can actually help you become stronger and better at achieving the goals that you started in the first place, if you use them right. And that's the key. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about some steps, how to take those times that you've had setbacks and use them to become stronger at meeting your goals. So first of all, one of the things that you can do, if you haven't already, you should be journaling toward your goals. And you should be setting smaller objectives toward those big goals that are time related. So if you haven't done SMART goals, which are specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, of course, and time related. If you haven't set SMART goals, that's something that's very commonly talked about in lots of life coaching broadcasts. So I don't want to rehash that right now. But if you haven't done those, make sure you write them down and you're journaling toward them, because that can be a really effective tool that you can begin to do if you haven't done yet. So first of all, when you think about what is it that derailed you from that goal, you can look at that and examine it and learn from it. And that way you can make your rails stronger when you get back on track, and you can actually be more long-standing, more persevering when you reach those goals. You can be stronger at reaching those goals because you've examined what caused the failure. So look for the mindset, first of all, behind the setback. Look at what was it that derailed you. Sometimes it starts with your thinking. A lot of people have goals that are related to health and nutrition and fitness, for example, and that all originates with a thought process. It begins with, did I start to go on a diet, or did I start to change a lifestyle? And changing a lifestyle is a lot more effective long-term than a diet. Diets can actually be detrimental because we tend to over-restrict ourselves and then binge if we're going on a diet. But changing a lifestyle can be effective long-term, and it can help you be very effective. People tend to have thought processes that derail them. If you think about food, for example, as an indulgence, if you think about food as something that's an emotional thing for you, it's going to help you feel better, it's going to comfort you, it's going to fill your sense of emptiness. That's a mindset that needs to be changed. If you don't change the underlying mindset, then you will continually be sabotaged by your thinking about food. So changing your thoughts about the thing that your goal is based on can be very important. For example, changing that thought about food as being something that's an entitlement or an indulgence, and instead looking at it as something that benefits and nourishes your body and helps you become more effective at your life, at the purpose of your life. Seeing it as something that's a part of your nourishment and your fuel to make you able to have a better future, a better older age quality of life. So if you look at food that way instead of entertainment, changing that mindset can help you be effective at developing a healthy lifestyle, so that you don't constantly try to reward yourself with a food that's actually toxic and is punishing your body and abusing your body instead of really rewarding it. So your mindsets can be deceptive. If you see something that's toxic to you as an indulgence, it will always trip you up and sabotage you. So stop thinking about the things that shoot you in the foot as something that blesses you. Change that mindset. If it's time related, seeing yourself as taking a little extra time to sleep in the morning, that one's my hard one. I like to sleep in the morning. That I think of as an indulgence. It's not. It's actually undermining my success. So I need to change my mindset about sleeping in so that I don't see that as a benefit, but as a detriment, as stealing my own time from myself. So changing that mindset is going to help me be more effective. So whatever your goal is about, whether it's about productivity, whether it's about exercise, whether it's about healthy eating, whether it's about how to spend more time with your relationships, making sure you really identify the things that you have misperceived as a benefit and seeing them for what they really are can help you be productive. When you change that deceptive thinking and you put it out loud on a piece of paper, that's what's going to help you stay on track next time. So detect things too, that's the next thing, that are temptations to you. What is it that tempts you? Once you identify it, you can get rid of those temptations. You can avoid them, you can minimize them, you can set up things that keep you from being distracted by them until you've made that firm habit, that firm new lifestyle change in your life. So for example, if you know that your temptation is potato chips, you can remove all the potato chips out of the pantry, donate them to a local place that feeds the homeless and the hungry, people that get lots of exercise just from having to be on the streets and aren't going to be as negatively impacted by those junk food items. So making sure that you can get rid of your temptations, the temptation to sleep in, how can you get rid of that? How can you get rid of the temptation to say negative things if that's your new goal for the year, is to say less negative things to people? How can you filter everything you say and give yourself tangible reminders so you don't have that temptation anymore? Root out the unhealthy habits that are sabotaging your success. What are your habits? So if you journal those and you do that for at least a few weeks, what are the things that you're doing that are habits that are getting in your way? Once you identify those, then you can change them. If you know what you've done that's not been successful, that can help you change what you're doing in the future. So use that. Journaling that will help you. It will help you identify it, and it'll help you keep getting back on track. The important thing is to resist shaming yourself over it. This is why people quit. This is why people give up, because they tell themselves they're no good at it and they can't, which isn't necessarily true. One person is not more capable of having willpower necessarily than the next person. You just need to use the right tools to boost your willpower. One thing you can use is faith. Another thing that you can use is having an accountability partner, using the right mantras, the right tangible tools, the things that you set before your eyes every day, those things that you're going to see that'll be your motivators. Make sure you keep those in place. And if you have someone else doing this with you, it makes it a lot more effective. Make sure it's someone that isn't going to shame you, but is going to encourage you, because that's important. The last thing that we need is a debilitating, paralyzed mire of shame where we put ourselves down so far for what we've done that we can't get up and go back and try again. You want to look at that conviction, which is always forward moving. That is a gift from God to say this is what you shouldn't be doing and what you need to look at trying to do better in. That's always forward moving. It's not paralyzing. It's not meant to freeze you or keep you down. It's meant to lift you up. So see that as an encouragement, acknowledging the responsibility and the opportunity to get up on your feet and move forward. You have the potential for an effective life that blesses other people. So do the things that you need to do to get back on your feet and move back toward those goals that are going to make you more effective in the gifts and talents that you've been given. Everybody's input is important. So listen to people that are going to tell you things like that. Yourself, you need to be one of those people that tells you those positive, encouraging messages. And you can look at scriptures and know that God would only give you encouraging, forward-moving messages. Get back on your feet. Try again today. Today is a new day. And if you need to, hire a life coach. If you don't have anybody in your circle of close friends in your life, get a life coach and start looking for those positive, encouraging circles of people to be part of in your new year. That can be an effective part of becoming the new you in the new year. So break those goals down, though, into small bite-sized steps. Sometimes we get overwhelmed, and that can be the hardest part of staying on track. I know if I get overwhelmed, I don't even want to start. So most of us are that way. If something's too big, we just look at it with our mouths open. How am I supposed to do that? And that's just too hard to even get going when it looks like it's impossible. But if you break it down into steps and say, if I can only just get this far today, if I can only do this much this week, if I can only get to here each day, each week, then in time, I will peck a little way at that big goal until I'm getting closer and closer and closer. And celebrate your small steps, but don't reward yourself with things that'll sabotage your goal. Don't celebrate fitness by rewarding yourself with something that's a toxic food. Celebrate it by getting yourself something that encourages you onward toward that goal. Getting some more fitness clothes because you have earned the opportunity to wear those clothes and use them toward fitness. Get yourself some more fitness items that are going to help you stay healthy. Help you get yourself some more books on encouragement. Do some things that reward you toward the goal that you're actually trying to achieve. Help yourself to a coffee out with your friends that you've made new positive relationships with. So something that's going to help you achieve those goals, that should be what you reward yourself with. So hopefully that's helpful to you. Remember to write those goals in pencil, all the objectives and all the goals in pencil. Give the eraser to God. Let Him make adjustments for you. And as you find that you haven't quite made a goal, don't give up. Just make an adjustment and say, okay, so since I need to push this out, I'm going to push this out one more day. And I'm going to start again today. Don't wait till next week to get back on your goal. Don't put it out too far. Make a small adjustment to your goal so that you get right back on track as soon as possible. Now, not tomorrow. Don't eat and binge for the rest of the day and then get back on track tomorrow, because then you have more to make up for. But make sure that you get on track right away, immediately, and get somebody to help you when you've fallen off that wagon, and make sure you've got support, and keep things written down and prayerfully stay focused on those goals, because your purpose is important. And the goals you've set, if you've prayerfully set those goals and you've given God the eraser and He's given you the objectives, then you need to stay focused on those, because your life matters to you, to God, and to all the people that He's going to put in your life around you. So be encouraged, and I look forward to hearing your feedback on how you're doing. So make sure that you comment on my website so we can all, as an audience, encourage one another. And I hope that you have a blessed and wonderful week. Bye-bye.